Welcome in to the Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Coming up on today's show, we have the latest Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. We will be discussing the possibility of trading for Courtland Sutton. Also breaking down Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft, who he has your Ravens selecting at 22. We'll tell you coming up in just a moment. Before we do that, folks, we have reached 9,000 subscribers here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for helping us reach this monumental milestone here on the channel. It's my pleasure to be talking about your Baltimore Ravens each and every day, and we want to bring you more content, so we want to keep growing this thing and keep adding more subscribers here. And you can subscribe now for free. It doesn't cost you a thing. YouTube.com/RavensTV. As a reward for getting to 9,000 subscribers, I promised that I would take a few sips of alcohol. We will do that. Stay tuned for the end of the show. In the meantime, if you're subscribed to the channel, type me in the comments. Spam the comments if you are subscribed. If you're one of our awesome 9,000 subscribers, maybe you're just now subscribing. Whatever it may be, type me in the comment section. We'll shout you out here on a later edition of the Ravens Rundown. We begin today with an update from Bleacher Report, as BR is naming the Ravens as a top landing spot for Broncos wide receiver Courtland Sutton. Now, to kind of take a couple steps back, remember the Broncos have talked about trading Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. Both players have been on the trade block of some sorts. We've kind of talked more so about Jeudy within the last couple of weeks, but Courtland Sutton might be the guy that is more likely to be traded of some sorts potentially. And let's go ahead and tell you why that could be the case, why Courtland Sutton could find his way to Baltimore. This is according to Alex Ballentine of Bleacher Report. He says on Sutton here, he'll turn 28 during the season, which isn't exactly old, but Jeudy will turn 24 in April. That's a whole contract's worth of an age difference. The Ravens only have 5 draft picks in 2023 event, so trading away a first-rounder is not ideal for them, but the asking price for Sutton would be even more doable. Now, the 28 was obviously comparing Sutton to Jeudy, but with that said, you're talking about even 4 years seems like a lot of time, right? He is a little bit older, but the success has been there for Courtland Sutton. A Pro Bowler back in 2019, 2018, of course, he was a second-round pick out of SMU. And for the most part, we've seen Courtland Sutton be pretty reliable, playing 65 games in 5 career seasons, except for the 2020 season when he tore his ACL and played just 1 game that season. Other than that, he's been pretty dependable. The numbers for Courtland Sutton, the Pro Bowl year he had back in 2019 was spectacular. Over 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 15.4 average. 2021 had 776 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2022 had 829 yards, 2 touchdowns. And think about this, too. The numbers he's put up has been with average to below average quarterback play there in Denver. What could he do if you paired him up with Lamar Jackson, potentially? Now, I'll say this. I'm not opposed to the idea of trading for Courtland Sutton. I think he's a very talented player, and he'd help this Ravens team a lot. But even with that said, aren't there better options out there? I mean, what have we talked about on this channel before? DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, some of these other names. I think there's better guys you could go after instead of Courtland Sutton. Even Jeudy, I'd rather have. So with that said, should the Ravens trade for Courtland Sutton? Would you like to see this be the move the Ravens make? If you would, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. This is our ad pin combo today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Y for yes, in for no if the Ravens should trade Courtland Sutton. Next up on the program, let's talk about Mel Kiper Jr.'s latest mock draft that came out this morning. And Mel is projecting that the Ravens take Boston College wide receiver Zay Flowers at 22 overall. Here's what Mel had to say about the potential selection. The dynamic Flowers is a favorite of mine in this class. While some in the NFL see him strictly as a slot receiver, he actually had 5 touchdowns when lined up outside last season and 7 from the slot. Though he's only 5'9", he could be used elsewhere. He forced 25 missed tackles last season, third most in the country for a wideout. He could thrive with Jackson in Baltimore, especially with new coordinator Todd Monken opening up the offense. Zay Flowers, according to Mel, has him as the number one best wide receiver in the entire draft. And that is different than even a few weeks ago. I think Zay Flowers at one point on Mel's big board was the number 4 or number 5 wide receiver. Now he has made his way up to number 1 and the 16th player overall. So this is a guy that is starting to climb up these draft boards. 2-time All-First-Teamer in the ACC. And this past year, he set a couple different records, including the single-season receiving touchdown record there at Boston College, had 12 this past season. More on Zay Flowers in a moment. We'll get you some details on Zay Flowers, let you get to know him a little bit further. I'll give my thoughts on this in just a second. But before we do, how would you grade Mel Kiper Jr.'s pick of Zay Flowers to Baltimore? You like that idea? You know I like the idea of drafting a receiver. But do you like it being this receiver? Let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. Tell me in the comments section what you think about the possibility of Zay Flowers heading to the Baltimore Ravens. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know. The numbers on Flowers in his time at Boston College. In 2022, the season where he set that touchdown record was spectacular. Over 1,000 yards receiving on 78 catches, 13.8 average. 2021 was solid, 746 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2020 had 56 catches, 892 yards, and 9 touchdowns. It was 2020 and 2022. Remember, those were the years that he was all ACC first team. I'll say this. Zay Flowers is not my favorite wide receiver in this draft. That's where I disagree with Mel when it comes to these receivers. I personally would take Jackson Smith-Njigba, Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, any of those 3 before I would take Zay Flowers. Now, that's not saying that I wouldn't take Zay Flowers. If those 3 are off the board, I'll take Zay Flowers before I would take another position. But I prefer these other guys. And for kind of the reasons that Mel lined out is why I kind of disagree. Zay Flowers, I think, has limitations. I think you're looking at a guy that is going to be limited to being a slot receiver of sorts at times and not having the deep threat ability that we've seen from Jackson Smith-Njigba. We know that JSN can do everything of what he did at Ohio State. Quentin Johnston, obviously, is a huge deep threat, has massive size with his body frame. And then there's Jordan Addison, who does a little bit of everything himself. So with that, Zay Flowers, talented player. Not knocking him at all. Don't get me wrong. I think that any team would be glad to have Zay Flowers, but I like the other 3 first before Zay Flowers personally. That's where I disagree with Mel. So name a player you think the Ravens should draft, whether it's Zay Flowers, maybe it's one of the other receivers we talked about. Maybe you think they should go defense. Let me know in the comments section. Name a player that you would like to see your Baltimore Ravens draft here on today's show. Very curious what you guys think. Now, as promised, since we reached 9,000 subscribers on the channel, I owe you guys not 1, not 2, not 3. No, I owe you 9 shots of liquor. And so I will pay that off right now and get these done one by one. To the flock. Here we go. 1. And another. 2. Starting to feel it. Oh, here's the 3rd one. 3. All right, we're 1/3 of the way there. Got to keep going. 4. Cheers. This next one is hoping that a Lamar Jackson deal gets done. Here's to 5. The 6th one is hoping that the Ravens know what they're doing when it comes to their next draft pick. Hopefully a wide receiver. Number 6. Oh, my gosh. This is something else. Can I make it? 3 more to go, folks. 3 more. All right. 3 for Dale. Raise hell, praise Dale, right? All right, 2 more to go. This is something, folks. 2 more, but you guys deserve it. Here is number 8. Okay. You guys, man, last one for the flock. 9,000 subscribers. We did it. Here's to 10,000 subscribers. We'll get to that milestone next. If you like what you saw today, you need to be following me on Twitter because I can have a good time and talk football, or we can have some drinks together on social media as well. And I'm there, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at Tyler Jones Live. That's where you can find me. The show rolls on there. I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us here on the channel.